if you have a plan, then the chances are you are chilling right now. I believe we got, let me just have a look over there. Are we also streaming on TikTok tonight? Potentially, yes. But yeah, big up yourself if you're in the live chat. This was completely unscheduled live stream. The reason for that is lately my internet has been playing up, so I needed to do a live stream tonight to get back into the game. But guys, we're going to talk about crypto. We're going to talk about certain projects. We're actually seeing Bitcoin's live pricing right now. And there's nothing to be afraid of. It's all market BS. But if you can walk away knowing that there's no reason to be concerned, of course, there are reasons to be concerned, but overall, I think the market will do what the market does. And I'm going to talk about why I believe this is the biggest, boldest, weirdest, most spectacular cycle we've ever had. And many of you will be avoiding certain altcoins, but money's made suffering, guys. Wealth like this doesn't transfer easily. Let me tell you that right now. You know, we don't get to make the kind of money that we're looking to make absolutely without suffering. And the suffering is, we suffered a lot back in April. We suffered at the Trump inauguration. And we're suffering again. Beautiful. What do you think of the linear chain? I'll come on to that. Absolutely fantastic question. But it's all about understanding where we are, guys, in terms of the manipulation that's going on. And there are certain things I'm going to share with you because I think a lot of people, obviously, you know, we react with the price. And one thing that's been going on is a huge battle, right? The battle between the Bitcoin whales is absolutely, Bitcoin and Ethereum whales. So today, I have done several different updates within the VIP group that need us to absolutely discuss this topic. Ethereum whales versus Bitcoin whales. This time of the market, would you know about the ETH whales going up against the Bitcoin whales? And of course, there is a whole narrative of Ethereum staking, or unstaking rather. And the metrics are very obvious, right? Once you do your research, guys, you can always kick back, relax, knowing that there's obviously greater forces at hand. And of course, we had the July peak of Ethereum unstaking, and we've obviously got the August peak. That's 892,599 Ethereum coming into the market or being unstaked, right? So why is that important? That's important because if you look at the way they obviously unstake and then move them to exchanges, and I'll show you a particular wallet, validator queue for ETH. So you can see here, exit is obviously leaving the staking, and entry is coming into the staking. We can't control who sells. We cannot control who takes profit. One whale did such that. He unstaked it, of course, 18, 20 million, taking big hits because he just wanted to sell it. Nothing wrong with that. And in my opinion, whales will always control the narrative. But let's not get carried away with that alone, because if we have a look, when the Ethereum comes to the market, what happens to it? I mean, when it's unstaked, rather. So it could either be parked into ETFs, because the ETFs are way, way safer. The ETFs will be much more safer for some of these that hold large amount of Ethereum. So it doesn't actually mean that they're going to dump it into the market straight away. We have seen an example where a whale did that today in the last couple of days. They may even start rotating to a, much smaller market caps. Now, small market cap to you and I is sub 10 million. Small market cap to the whales is $1 billion plus, right? Does it make sense now? Simply or take profit. But as always, we need to look at both sides so you're not shaken out completely by thinking, okay, this is it. Of course, there are bigger macro things that we can talk about as well. The whole idea is to understand where you fit in this super cycle, and within that, take advantage of exactly the wealth that's coming your way. That's very, very, very important. The wealth coming your way is knowing when to buy undervalued assets in the market, when to hold it, and of course, finally, when to offload that. We've not had a chance because obviously altcoins have not done what they needed to do. This particular whale, right? This whale couldn't actually wait. He swapped 4,242 stake Ethereum for 4,231 ETH, which is roughly $18 million. And this is happening as we obviously today deposited into Kraken, took a loss, 50K, doesn't give a shit. And of course, we've seen this before. Back in July, this happened. This was the second highest unstaking of Ethereum of all time. Now, eventually, the price fell by 12% for about 7 days, within 7 days. And then, of course, BTC also dropped by 5%, right? So it literally gets hit. Ethereum gets hit disproportionately when this type of thing happens. Of course, the ETH narrative that's been built on Twitter, on X, is that Ethereum right now is basically going to dump, and that caused panic. Of course, we can go onto the exchanges as well. All right. So BTC whales, of course, overall, they amplify the narrative. They are very powerful. They're in LinkedIn, Twitter, all the different places. But market overall is sensitive to something far bigger, and that's the macro. So when we're seeing, so this is the current Bitcoin price on a smaller time frame. When you're seeing this, right? There's another element at play, guys. This is going to be, I mean, look, I'm not Trump's biggest fan, but what Trump has done is he's put us in a position where we could actually call this a super cycle. The only issue is a lot of people are stressed because of the fact that it's not happening as per traditional, i.e. expecting retail to come in. And because retail is largely absent, according to sources, in my opinion, I think retail have been burnt, packed the bags and left. But you've really got to look at the macro. Now, I've been calling this correction for a while, but let's look at what institutions are doing, right? That's always the key. First of all, we don't give this guy enough credit of what's to come. Now, you don't have to agree with the politics. You don't have to agree with the Trump politics to understand what he's doing in the market. What Trump is doing is very simple. Trump has made 40%, up to estimates go between 20 to 40% of his entire net worth in the past 12 to 18 months through cryptocurrency. I repeat, Trump has made vast amount of money from crypto. Now, why is that important? It's important because the Operation Chokehold 2.0 of bank stifling crypto is over. And don't even get me started talking about, the 401k, like this is absolutely incredible. Most people don't realize during the winter months, this time round, there's going to be tons of legislation coming, right? To, the Clarity Act will be coming. And what tends to happen is this is the first time ever in the history of crypto where we're not going to feel like literally we've got all of the shackles coming off. And retail don't understand that. It was the same thing I was saying in April. Back in April, people weren't buying because they thought the bull market was over in April. That is absolutely insane. And, someone's saying there, the bull market typically starts in September. And I'll show you what the September plan is, because the biggest win for US crypto banking in years. And again, I posted about the fact that Dubai is also a very good crypto-friendly jurisdiction, probably a global leader now, along with Singapore, where legislation is pro-crypto. But this stuff this is insane. He ended regulator-enforced reputational risk excuse that punished US banks for serving crypto companies. So you got to look at, so on the one hand, we're talking about ETH being unstaked. We're talking about the macro picture where we had two major CPI and job reports sandwiched between the last FOMC and the next one. So on top of that, people are getting lost in the day-to-day candle movements when clearly you want the prices, even if they come down, you want to be able to just buy what you believe in and give it one last, you could run into 2026 by all means, but this is incredible. In the last bull market, the entire US industry was banked by Silvergate and Signature, right? People don't know what these are. They weren't just banks. They ran an instant settlement network. Exchanges, market makers, traders moved millions in seconds. When both collapsed, and that's the key, right? In 2023, post FTX, right? Rate hikes and liquidity froze. And you guys remember the series of banking collapses in the US. And of course, this is why the chokehold on ramp, off ramp turned into choke points. That's where we're going to get them. Most US banks refused crypto historically because AML failures, but because of regulators. So that's no more. That's absolutely no more. Now, once again, these banks are now being told to comply and to be able to improve these liquidity settlements, be pro customers, you name it. So it will take years for banks to match Switzerland, where 20 banks plus serve crypto today. They're fully backed native banks, okay, that exist. And of course, Dubai is also the bullish case. So I live in Dubai, of course. This is a winning combination, both now, regulatory clarity through the DMCC. That's absolutely insane. It is absolutely insane. So overall, my projection is this, guys. Let me see. Smash the like, by the way, if you're joining us on these other platforms. Let me see. How do I flip this thing? Yeah, keep coming on with those likes, guys. Right. Show these people what I'm working with. So that's why I'm bullish overall, guys. So when it comes to the reasons why we look at this, and we're seeing liquidations, staking issues, staking battles between Bitcoin and Ethereum whales, putting negative, negative sentiment out there. Then you have to remember to keep cool. And we will talk about, we will talk about meme coins, we'll talk about layer ones, we'll talk about all of that. But off the back of what's going on, I'm going to try and give you some overview. So while they're telling us all of this, they are tokenizing the US economy, global economy, in fact. Plume got listed on Binance. Plume is working heavily in the East, but RWA is becoming a real thing where if you look at this is what they've done to date. Right? Look at these numbers. And you got stocks all the way down there, 350 million, right? Non-US government debt, 316 million. And this is just the beginning. These assets are trillions and trillions of dollars. Holy crap. I mean, this is insanity. If I can only explain why just DCAing into crypto is the best thing you can ever do in your life. Just sit back, relax, and look at the picture that's happening. So these are real statistics of what's been tokenized so far. Now, of course, layer ones play a big part in this. You would get fundamental projects that are built on Ethereum, like Ondo. You got all these projects, you got your Zebex, you got Plumes, you got so many RWA projects. The chain doesn't really matter at this point. What matters is seeing how they put in more and more tokenization on chain. In addition to that, what do you see here? These are individual networks. So you may not see, for example, you see Ethereum and you don't see Ondo because Ondo is actually built on Ethereum. Although it's going to be the Ondo chain now. Then you've got, surprisingly, with 40 projects here, you got ZK Zinc, right? But the one that I was surprised with is Aptos. Why? Because they are working with the state of Wyoming for tokenization. And what you're seeing here is it's actually sitting above Solana, right? In terms of lesser projects, RWA count, way less. However, total value locked in those 14 projects is 722 million, right? 2 billion there on ZK Zinc with 40 projects. Ethereum has a whopping 320, but the most actually by project count is Polygon, which is completely insane. XRP here with 10, of course, Algorand with 1, which is about 200 million, one single dApp, but 200 million plus in TVL. So over the last 30 days, these RWA ecosystem, you can see here, Aptos had a massive, huge unlock. I think it was 600 million tokens or something. But these are the kind of rotations that the whales will do. I'm not saying go and buy Aptos. Of course, there's other chains as well for RWA, way smaller market cap. Now, let me just get something else. Let's put something else in here. Hope you guys doing well. I can see you, Loki. I can see Pratik, Raffaello. I can see my brother Patriot, Jeremy in the building. Of course, we've got tons of people there in on the other networks as well. Now, if we're going to make money, we're going to have a plan, right? Are you see what Epic is doing, guys? Anyone in the live holding Epic? Let me know, because I really want to know the journey that it's taking you to actually hold on to it as we speak. There will be a lot of projects that do really well, but technically not all of them. Rafa is holding. That's amazing, bro. That is absolutely Okay, so before we talk about these projects, I posted this a couple of weeks ago, and it was kind of like, okay, it was the hardest thing to do. It was the hardest thing to do at the time for me, but I wanted to do a 90-day master plan for the community. And overall, it's on point right now. October it's going to be the strongest month. Regulation, and of course, it is also a very, very strong month for the stock market as well. Then we're waiting for the Fed to pivot. Now, I monitor these things on a daily basis because sometimes, although there's 29 days to go, the sentiment was 88. Then it came down to the 80s. It's now sitting at 83, right? 83% of rate cuts was 88, came down to 81, and now it's bounced back again. So in line with that, this is why everyone needs to chill, right? This is why you need to chill. Like you've held for years, and the last stretch is. This is what you need. With an average gain of 22%, Bitcoin's best month, by and large, is October. What else are we looking for? Like I said, 2 CPI, 2 job datas, in between the PPI, and of course, the next Fed meeting. Pivotal Fed decision in mid-September. Trump's new appointee. TGE refill, Clarity Act. Holy crap. So I always said they're going to send the markets out, and they're going to put the brakes on for a little bit, right? Because ETH was about to break all-time high. Send us back to reality a little bit, and then before you know, bam, we take off again. So that's what's been happening. So the 90-day, I've stuck to it. Hold your call, please. Don't get shaken out during the August-September volatility. I was talking about this 2 weeks ago when the market was doing really well. Prepare for the dip. Prepare cash for the dip. Well, it's happening right now. Accumulate the fear. Late August, early mid-September. Holy crap. When did I write this? Nostradamus doesn't have a date. I wrote this like a couple of weeks ago. I'm proud of myself because it takes a lot to sit back, relax, and again, just look up what's going on. So what I wrote, it was 88% chance of a Fed rate cut, but this is what we need. We're at this stage. Stay focused. Wait for these months. Anticipate the first time ever we could spill into 2026. I know you guys don't like hearing that, but it is what it is. Prepare for a super cycle. It could really be something spectacular. We could literally spill. And you know what makes me like someone's put down. Someone said corpo or gaming, just kind of gave me a kind of a thought here. GTA 6 coming out kind of May 2026. I mean, could gaming take off? I mean, everyone is expecting a total collapse, post January 26. Well, I don't know, man. You got to be flexible with your thesis and hypothesis. You've got to really stretch your mind a little bit, otherwise you get caught out. So August to September may test your conviction. Don't fold. October is your launch pad. Position now, and of course, big Q4 coming up. And that's what my thesis is based on, the fact that all of these bullish factors and all of these things coming on chain, and genuinely people not really looking at US treasuries or whatever. These are just buzzwords for people, right? So as far as Bitcoin is concerned, guys, let's have a look at some of these. Let me start with Epic, because this has been an absolute crazy run for Epic. And absolutely amazing performance by this asset. But look at the sell. Look at this. Let's look at this on the daily, actually. Maybe let's come down to the 1 hour here. So yeah, look, there is a lot of resistance there. And this is Epic Chain, which is absolutely done crazy numbers. Now, if you look at Epic, as Caveman is holding it, Caveman's holding Epic Chain. Big up Caveman since he's on Thorough as well. So let's go to the daily here. So yeah, we're literally done unbelievable numbers on this. So since this has got to 66 million in market cap, of course, market is pulling back a little bit, but you can see here, everything's, these are DEX volumes, by the way, guys. Holder count just keeps creeping up. That's all I care about now. People are interested. People are buying. So that's a pretty good, that's a amazing thing for this one. So if you've been, who's been in Epic Chain, let me just go. Yeah. What do you think of Linear? Is the tokenomics still bullish? Guys, I promise I'll get to all of your questions. So Linear, let's have a look. Has it dropped yet? I was a bit disappointed, to be honest, but let's just go to X. Yeah, so look, I'd rather, instead of the main L2, I would rather focus on the ecosystem plays for me. Because something like Linear, I mean, listen, there's so many things that layer 2s are bad for. And none other than Bayes doing so well. L2s, I mean, look at the L2s. We have Arbitrum, we have Bayes, we have, of course, without a token, we have Linear. Now, obviously, the close relationship between Linear and Ethereum could see it do something, but L2s in general, I'm not really bullish on them, to be honest. And of course, if they're going to upgrade Ethereum like they've done recently, it just kind of takes away from the fact that, of course, these layer 2s, Manta was another one. All of these will actually, underperforming massively. What's going on, Jeremy? Mr. Rogers in the building. Everything is on sale. Join the team, get a 90-day plan, and you'll be, good to go, brother. Wow. Appreciate that, brother. There's so many of you in there, man. I just don't even, to be honest, I wouldn't take credit for our Discord. It's something different, you know. It's calm in there, and we tend to genuinely help each other. Of course, we had a few bad apples in the past, but they got rid of all of them, and now it's just harmonious group of like-minded, mature people, individuals, brothers, some sisters in there as well. So yeah, appreciate you, brother. We will definitely be going through that. Yes. Blessings to everybody as well. Blessings to you, Rafa. Sorry, brothers. Pratik, September historically bad for S&P and Bitcoin. 100%, brother. Pick up yourself, Loki, in the building. How are you, man? I think I've answered that one. Not a bad combination at all. Casper has been absolutely forgotten by most. That's just the way it is, man. You know, people do forget about, you know, people want to buy the top, sell the bottom. That is the natural strategy. But you look, you know, the Mexi chart has a historical Casper chart. You know, Mexi have had it listed for ages. And again, if we go even though on the daily, for Casper, these are the areas long term. Of course, it's got a ton of support here. But Casper's main immediate resistance is at these levels. Of course, support going slightly further down if we see the market pulling back some more. But these institutional order blocks are normally accurate from a price perspective. You know, you've got, look how accurate this is, you know. This is obviously ridiculous. You know, look, that support level there, look at the pump. The origins of that first pump came all the way back in October 2023, and Casper did absolutely incredible numbers. Caves holding Terra. So that's an incredible project as well. And by the way, they are based over here in Abu Dhabi, in the UAE. And the chart, let's have a look at this on the hourly. Relatively new project. You can see here, lots of buy pressure here. Send the price up all the way to that resistance, get rejected, of course. Now it's gathering. And again, you know, look at that initial wick here of nearly 3 cents. That's insane, man. But yeah, this is another RWA play based in Abu Dhabi with potentially the UAE government potentially behind this, or might get behind, especially Abu Dhabi anyway. So yeah, you clear that first resistance, the second one. And I think this one, look, a lot of projects from the region haven't actually done really well. But it is absolutely imperative to see how much money they put behind this, whether they get onto Binance and stuff like that, because I believe they can. They have the resources to do that. Bro said, yeah, let me check that on CoinGecko. I'm so happy Pratik knows about this, because I think it's just me and him that know about this project. Shout out to you if you know about links. So no one knows about this microcap, 800K market cap. And this is absolutely worth watching. Now, the TVL is bigger than the market cap. Imagine that, guys. when the TVL is behind the or so this is the number one DEX for Linux. See if I lost connection. Let me do a test. Is my internet gone? Are we good? Right. So this is the exchange, right? You got to be careful sometimes. Again, I know Jeremy's asking about DeFi plays, where to be honest, DeFi this cycle has been kind of, in terms of not overall just DeFi, but I think base is pretty good. Base is pretty good for DeFi right now. Of course, you've got these Athenas and all these typical DeFi plays, but optimize, manage liquidity. This is going to be, I think, if Linear has a season, I can see Linux doing very well. I can honestly see this doing well. Because this is going to be, again, layer twos are a bit sketchy, but this could be one of those that runs purely because the metrics don't add up. You've got high TVO and you've just got low market cap. So yeah, that's a good shout, bro. Very good shout. I'd probably say links. Yeah, I saw Corpo doing well because gaming is not doing well. The doing well then becomes relative, right? But it has done well. Down 13%. So market cap went from just over a couple of million. If you look at this is like 3 million, just sitting at 3 million for a long time. Then boom. And it's nice to see that, this thing was at one point nearly, let's go to the price. Look, this thing was over $1. You know what I mean? $1.18 all-time high. So you would imagine, of course, it's got a lot of people in the seed rounds and everything else. And, a lot of people are down on this play. But trading volume over 24 hours has picked up slightly. And I would probably say these are the market conditions. But unfortunately, 95% down from its all-time high. So these smaller caps will at some point pick up, but they're super risky because this needs a gaming narrative. But I do still hold my bag. Energy Web Token, you know what? That narrative never really blew me out. BlackRock, if they've mentioned them, Rocky Mountain Institute. The thing is, it's just, I don't know. It's not sexy enough, in my opinion. Parking money there. I mean, this was, people were talking about this since the last bear market. This has been around for donkeys. So I could see here, it's recently been kind of pumping here, but I know it's got major listings as well. Oh, sorry, it's not even on, it's on Kraken. But I would say it really just depends on how big this deep in narrative becomes. It's I don't know. I just don't find this. I just don't find this any $80 million market cap, right? It took 5 years of working with the Australian energy regulator to deploy. And I'm a reasonable guy. Listen, it could do whatever, but I just remember this from the last cycle when the field was way less crowded. And, You never know. It could get. It seems like it could get a grayscale or whatever, but it's just not for me. It's not for me, unfortunately. I'd rather buy some meme coins and stick to the fundamental plays. Can we talk about Cat? If they have a CoinGecko listing, I can, which is up 65%, down 99%. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. It's nah. I'll give it a pass, brother. It's not sexy enough for me, man. Cat dog, 99% down. I mean, ooh, Zora versus Virtual's Protocol. I'd personally go with Zora. I just feel like the token creation here is just absolutely insane, and it has a smaller market cap. Virtuals is obviously a blue chip, but I'd go Zora. I'd go Zora, man. Zora. I think this is gonna fly. It's just a creator coin, right? This is gonna be. Jeremy said, "Hi, brother. Is there any chance you could talk about DeFi a little bit? What's a good kind of high, medium, low cap coins? Just look at Aerodrome, obviously, and of course, that's exactly." So when it comes to DeFi, you got to look at the next Aave, the next Lido, stuff like ENA, Eigenlayer. ETH was a good one that I posted in our group as that's an Arthur Hayes project, and I think I posted that sub maybe even $20 million if I remember correctly. And of course, you see Pendle going absolutely nuts. Now, when it comes to DeFi, let's have a look So let's have a look at DeFi by market share. So the reason I'm saying there are certain reports out in terms of DeFi, liquid staking, and all of those things, and even DEXs. Some chains are going to be more suited, better than others. So DEXs, obviously, they come under DeFi as well. When it comes to I wouldn't touch liquid staking and those types of products, to be honest. But there are several good DeFi plays in the Sui ecosystem. I think long term, Sui is going to be the home of DeFi. Of course, the hack, the what do you call the CETAS hack didn't really help them. So that's the thing. But I will publish a list again in the Discord of low cap DeFi projects with a real opportunity. There's one or two on Bitensa Tau as well, which I wouldn't say here, but I would definitely, DEXs dominate the market share of DeFi. And I prefer to get a good DEX. Black Hole's going to be one to watch. Aerodrome Finance. These two are going to be doing well. And if you guys remember when I gave you Swiss cheese, it's not going away. Swiss cheese is still around. Unbelievable. So you got, like I said, I prefer DEXs. They form part of the chain money-making ecosystem. And as a result, we've obviously been in Aerodrome quite early, which has done really well for us. I've previously kind of traded Pendle. And then you start to look down and see what's going on here. I still hold my CETAs protocol. I think all in due course, everything that happened will be forgotten. Velodrome Finance, yes, Velo. CETAs, Aerodrome has literally killed Velo, but Velo got a Binance listing, by the way. And of course, the Optimism stack, which is what Velo and of course Aero is a fork of Velodrome. Black Hole, $51 million market cap. They've been taking heavy profits, down 36% for the week. That's a good shout. That's a really, really good shout. Both of these being at the same market cap, but look at the volume for Velodrome, 12 million. Because it's on Binance, right? Source swap, I mean, if HBAR really does take off, I know it's I believe it's Source swap is multi-chain, isn't it? Or native Hedera. Yeah, Source swap is a very good DEX. And then you've got Alien Base, which is at $18 million market cap, has a decent TVL. Rhea, there's one that's coming. There's going to be an amazing DeFi play, which I will post in the VIP group. But look what BSX has done, 150%. Again, I gave out a buy alert for this. Sub 2 million, I think. And then, of course, you've got a bunch of other stuff there. But I do have like a list of top, middle, bottom DeFi plays, and I'll publish that. Yeah, Alien Base is really good, bro. Compete. You know what? I love the game, but the product is amazing. But unfortunately, there's of course there's a time and place for it. But it is a decent one, especially the gameplay. I sent you an interview in your DM, brother. I shall check the DM. You're the community, bro. Wallah. You are the man. That's my family, man. Sui Trump. Yo, I do like I do really like Mischief. I think that's a good guy, man. I know he's been grinding on that from day one. From literally, I remember this being like a couple of 100K, but 800K market cap, 16K volume, and a decent creator behind it. I do like that. Some mid-tier DeFi coins. Yeah, I think, sorry, I'm late to your question, but we've just literally gone through a few of those, and I'll publish a list for you as well. Bro said, which YouTubers do you follow other than you? I'm not into meme coin trading. Yeah, it's I mean, it's really, YouTube can be really difficult, especially for other content creators. I do like Crypto G. He's a friend of the channel, a friend of mine. I think he's very, very good. What's this Scottish guy, man? That's been around forever, man. He's decent as well. Don't know what his name is. Forgot. There's an Australian guy that tracks wallets and stuff. He's nice, you know. But YouTubers with other YouTubers is difficult because we all have something to complain about, right? Like we just have different opinions, but there are a lot of good guys. Crypto Danks, I like. He's a good brother. Yeah, I mean, who else can I talk about that's not actively just pumping and dumping? You know what? I'm gonna say this. Yeah, big up to Crypto Archie as well. You know, we can't look. There's genuinely good guys and there's dickheads in the space. You know what I mean? Like everything in life. You know, that friggin' crypto, whatever his name was, archetype, and all of those pussios. Yeah, they can get some coconuts, man. The ruggeds, I hate those. Kai Network, Graham. I am planning, and I have been planning for ages now, talking to the team to try and bring them on the channel. They are absolutely on for coming to do an AMA with us. So I can't wait for that. Yeah, ChainSwap. We just looked at ChainSwap, man. I can't believe, Steve, how far ChainSwap has fallen in terms of the overall importance. There is actually another multiple cross-chain DeFi project play that's coming at a potentially slightly smaller market cap. But ChainSwap actually at one point was shilled by a lot of big YouTubers, especially, and also in places like TikTok and stuff like that. Really has no volume at all to actually say whether it's dead or alive. Let's see the exchanges. Still on MEXC, $12,000 on MEXC, and most of the DEX trading is coming from, most of the trading is coming from DEX. I don't know what to think of stuff like this. It's hard. It's hard because these actually don't need a lot of money to blow up. Yeah, of course, brother. We use Nansen every single day. Well, I do, and then I share that with the community. Using Nansen has actually made life a lot easier. Because honestly, like you just see things that you don't have the pleasure of seeing, you know. This is fresh wallets, for example. These are fresh wallets, nearly 7x fresh wallets buying created wallets, first time transfers in the last 15 days, spending $388,000 buying Epic chain, for example. So that's something, of course. And I think, you know, in the Discord, just so you know, the people there's no system in the world can substitute for human endeavor, you know, camaraderie, brotherhood, belonging, multiple different research points, people that are way smarter than I am. You know, we have Jeremy there, we have Caveman, we have the Madman, an absolute genius, you know, the Crypto Muzza. We've got, you know, so many brothers in there. Like we know each other's names, right? And that's all you can hope for. You know, somebody would ask a question, somebody would answer, and of course we will do that as many times as possible. And there's no talking rubbish or, you know, trying to get people to buy things that we don't believe in. Occasionally a degen play will come up with either winning it. We did 10x on Jojo. Lofi did over 10x. Toshi's actually on 20x. So there are spaces to trade meme coins, but overall it's more about being a family. Just crypto is difficult. That's why I made that Discord just $9 a month, because it's not about the money you pay. It's about the shared journey that we get. Everybody can do this on their own, but if you have one central point where you go in the morning or the afternoon, people are working, by the way. You can't serve the news, you can't check this and that. There's all of us chipping in there, and of course, I'm doing a lot more macro because it seems to be helping us in kind of shaping how we get rid of the emotion and how we specifically focus on the job at hand, which is make as much gains as we can while surviving any of the existing, because it's not all about winning. Anyone that tells you, I'm just keep winning, it's bullshit. It's about, it's actually surviving the mental torture to be well enough to hold your gains, to end up enjoying your gains, to buy when the market is bleeding. This is my message in April. So yeah, brother, join us, and you guys are incredible. The King D. Yeah, I'm 2 years behind. Oh, this is my brother here. Mad respect to my brother, Madman, and that is one reason alone why you should be coming on to the Discord. To be honest, there's such a wonderful brother with amazing wisdom. Of course, big up to the YouTube community as well. We are all together really as one community. And let's continue with, am I bullish on Kai Network? Yes, I am. I love the project. I mean, I'm more of a traditional proof of work type of guy. I love proof of work concepts. So that's why I was bullish on it from the get-go, before it dropped. And of course, subsequently, I reached out to the team, and we haven't worked out a date or a schedule for the one or two of the founders to come on the channel. And we should have had Alf in already, a competitor for Kai Network. Of course, we're going to try and get them on as soon as possible. I kid you not, if you read this brother's post today in the Discord, you'd be absolutely shocked. That was wonderful, man. I want to pick up the Madman for posting that. Hope to see all of you guys in real life, in the flesh, in Dubai one day. Can you check Nora? By the way, my baby, my daughter, her name is Nora. So I do love that just purely because of the name. So this is it's funny because I posted a buy alert for this as well, and it is still, wow. The current market cap is a great place actually to consider this. So look at the slide. This is like, so right now, fully diluted, just $1 million, 90% down. So the whales must have just dumped. And of course, the chart reflects that. So I bet you any money now, like unless there are fresh, smart new wallets, Unless there are fresh, smart new wallets, majority of the wallets have either sold. Let's see what is this the internet? Let's turn on the Wi-Fi as well. Wow. Neuralabs has absolutely tanked, but to be fair, I'm intrigued because we used to have a lot of smart wallets in there. Let's go share this page while I get back into this. So many. So by the way, this the way they dump this token is just so unnatural. Something has to pop up. Steve said another vote for Alien Base. Graham said Joss. Let's have a look. Why are we lagging? So yeah, I'm gonna try and bring up some kind of like back end data, but Nansen has just kicked me out for some reason. But I would say that was dumped unbelievably. Selling it to the last minute. Ooh, this is a lopsided. I call this the one-legged beast. So yeah, that chart has no life in it right now. But I do like the concept. The only problem is you've just never made money in wallets. That's the problem. You know, they've got all of these things, you know, all singing and dancing wallet, blah, blah, blah. One place for all of your, it's just, they just targeted MetaMask, assuming MetaMask has a bad user interface. But you go into MetaMask just to swap tokens, or you go to Uniswap to swap tokens. Crypto super wallet that lets you talk to your money. Now, the AI, DeFi AI aspect of it is good. This AI analytics thing that they have is good. The dApp marketplace that they have is good. They've raised decent amount of money from the start. Let's have a look. How do I tap the like, guys? Smash the like. Smash the hell out of the like, guys. How do I, let's see if we can rotate. So let me see if I can share that screen with these guys. So look, functionality wise, it's yet to be fully tested. Now, where their main competition is, guys, is MetaMask. Is it tokenized? Who cares? Trust Wallet is tokenized. Market valuation 2 million versus 700 million for Trust Wallet. Agent, yes. The rest don't have them. Gamify, yes. I don't know if I need my wallet to do games, and you can do swaps. But the question is, are these products functioning? Now, sub $1 million, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind taking a little punt. But first, I have to go through all of the wallets that sold and see if there's any significant links to certain other wallets. You know, otherwise I'm not interested. So they haven't really got their full product out yet. So yeah, good question. Very good question. Yes. Joss and Alien Base. And ALB is just sitting there to take off. And I think it's Alien Base ETH. Yeah, it's paired with ETH. So yeah, Alien Base right now, what was the market cap? $18 million? It's actually had a decent run. ALB. Yeah, to get up to $18 million, it's definitely had a decent decent little run. Let's get some sound in there, guys. Yeah, so if you look at Alien TVL, yeah, 18 million, market cap 18 million. It's got very, very low volume. Did I get into Epic before the pump? Very good question. So Epic I had in, because I was away partially in July and some parts of August, early August, with the family. I went back to London. So in that 2 weeks, there were a lot that I missed because I made a point that I'm going to have a holiday with my family this time round. But I got in at the same time as I did the announcement, so only up a little bit, nothing too crazy. But I would have obviously spotted it if I had, if I hadn't gone on holiday from inception, probably. President-elect is super dope. Yeah, one of the best. One of the best. Such a wonderful brother. But yeah, I agree with you. You're one of them too, Jeremy. Good evening to you, Ram. How is India, bro? Namaste to my brothers and sisters over there in India. And if I can check home, is that the meme coin? Ooh. What a chart. Guys, this chart is absolutely wonderful. On base, up only to the right. And of course, it's still got some tokens out. Actually, look, it's only got a small portion of the tokens out. But this is a DeFi app on the Base blockchain. That's what I was saying. Base is going to do really well on DeFi. So far, sitting at what? $121 million market cap and a sexy looking chart. Wow. Now it has 139K followers, and it's followed by a few projects that we know. Kaito, liquidity pool. Yeah, Base is tight. Base is actually in the top 10 of revenue generators, according to the Nansen on-chain analysis. So Base is super bullish. Base is one of the largest, if not the largest protocol that is soon, like literally this cycle, Base will be what BNB was last cycle. So this is looking good, brother. I wish I had seen this one as a micro cap because boy, oh boy. So basically, crypto's everything app. Swap and leverage lend DeFi app. Of course, we were talking about DeFi applications and you know, all these things, but swapping made look sexy. Your home for all things decentralized. Who's backing this? Probably Base. Interesting. So it's basically, look, if you look at, so this is definitely a narrative. And that's what, you know, 120 million If Neuro went to 121 million, that will be 120x on your price. But this looks super duper. Just follow them on X as well. Did we? Yeah, looks really funky, bro. Mine network, bro. This is dope. Again, this is a clean, relatively decent chart. TVL, not bad at all. 69 million fully diluted, 17 million current. Trading volume is 7 mil. Gate.io, as a Gate is notorious for good volume. HTX as well. So good exchanges. It's what I love about when we come together, because it kind of gives you all of the different backed by Binance, Chainlink, Hashkey, Animoca brands. Enough said. That's a really good call, bro. That's a really good call. Still only a small cap. Pioneering FHE, and of course, homomorphic encryption. You know, this is something that's going to be, it's going to be quite key moving forward. Alien-based DeFi app analysis. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. I haven't actually, I forgot to live stream this on, on some other platforms as well, but we're still getting a very good, a nice little turnout. Hope you had a wonderful, or hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. And I'm going to catch you on another live stream. My internet's good. You guys can hear me very well. And yeah, we will continue to speak. We will continue to educate people, help each other as well. And of course, next time around, I should have an AMA ready for you sometime this week. I don't know if it's going to be Alf, Okta, Kai Network. You know, it could be any of those. But guys, big up yourselves. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you in the Discord. And let's keep winning. God bless you all. Unless you've got any other questions, that is probably where we should end this live stream. And it's good to be back, man. Take care.